What are the disadvantages of using a VA loan? I bet you didn't think I was going to say that, right? So after all, nobody's perfect, not even the VA loan, and that's exactly what we're going to discuss today, are the disadvantages associated with utilizing your VA home loan benefit. So the first thing that I want to say is simply this, right? A lot of people claim that VA loan have disadvantages, but the disadvantage that they're sharing with you as the veteran or active duty service member is simply stated not true. Meaning this, right? Somebody will tell you that VA loan takes longer to close or it's a subprime loan. Allow me to speak to those two things for just a moment, right? I'll start with subprime. People think that because veterans are not putting any money down that somehow they're less qualified to obtain this loan. It's like, who told you that? That would be like saying somebody that shops at Costco is broke. No, we shop at Costco because Costco saves us money, right? So my point in sharing that is just like Costco, VA loans save veterans or active duty service members money when they're purchasing a home. Jimmy, how do you mean exactly? Well, how I mean exactly is this. My name is Jimmy Vercellino. If you found that this information was of value and you have questions, go ahead and comment down below. I'll make sure to get them answered for you. If you liked this information, go ahead and consider liking the video, showing your love, subscribing to the channel. VA loans have oftentimes lower interest rates associated with them. That's the first thing, allowing you to save money in the form of monthly payment and interest that you're paying, right? And secondly, VA loans don't have any what's referred to as PMI, private mortgage insurance. Why is this a big deal? Because you're not having to pay unnecessary fees every month to cover yourself in the form of risk on the mortgage to the lender that you'll never see again, right? So my point is that VA loans, one more time, are saving you money, and don't let people tell you that the VA loan is a subprime loan and therefore look at that as a disadvantage to getting this VA loan. VA loans have no prepayment penalties. You can sell your home whenever you'd like, and most importantly, one last time, they're designed to save you money, not only in the form of monthly payment, but also down payment as well. Oftentimes for veterans and active duty service members, a barrier to home ownership can be the down payment. VA allows you to circumvent this by not having to put any money down. Now, does that mean that you as the veteran don't have the option to put money down? It's like, no, you can put money down if you want to. There's nothing stopping you from doing so if you want to have equity in your home. I think that that's a wonderful idea. And if you're in a position to do that, virtual fist bump, all right, good to go. So let's keep moving along here, and we'll talk about a couple of other things. I've heard people say before that the VA loan takes longer to close. It's like, who told you that? Meaning this, right, that the VA loan, well, truthfully, let me let you guys in on a little secret. VA does not lend the money. Did you know that? All the VA does is just guarantee the loan by 25% in the event of default. So if a lender is taking longer to close on that loan, that doesn't mean that it's the VA loan or the VA's fault, right? So it's important, if you're a veteran or active duty service member, when getting ready to submit an offer, or if you're a real estate agent, getting ready to submit an offer on a property, that you lock arms with the mortgage lender and that they can close your loan in the desired time frame in which you need to close. So have that conversation with them up front. It's like, can you close my loan in less than 30 days? If the answer is yes, awesome, move forward. If it's not, you may want to reconsider and find a mortgage lender who can get that done for you. Good to go. In addition to that, I've heard things before. Veterans will say, you know, VA loans have kind of more strict guidelines when it comes to appraisals. And in addition to that, that the value of the property comes in lower on appraisals. Don't let people get away with telling you that the VA appraisal is a disadvantage. I've got a video. I interviewed a gentleman by the name of Jay Joseph. Jay is a appraiser. He owns his own appraisal company, Joseph's Appraisal Group. I interviewed him on this channel, and the reason why I did is because he's a VA appraiser. In other words, he's an independent appraiser that goes out to the property and is compensated by VA. And one of the things that he said to me, and I thought it was really interesting, is he said, Jimmy, under no circumstances will I ever appraise a property for less than the purchase price, right, based off of it being a VA loan. And so when I heard that, it was like, gosh, that is so beautiful. I'm so happy that you said that, Jay, because I think more people need to hear that moving forward, right? In other words, Jay doesn't give a rip, right, about what type of financing the borrower is getting. What Jay cares about are the most recent comps. What did the homes in the neighborhood sell for? That's how he's going to arrive at his value. Good to go? So I'll put a link in the description. You guys can check out that video if you want to learn more about VA appraisals. In addition to that, I think it's also worth mentioning that VA has something called a tidewater notice. A tidewater notice means that if the value is not coming in, right, or the VA appraiser doesn't see the value, they're going to notify you and all parties involved, and they're going to give you time, as much as 48 hours, to provide additional comparables that support the value of the property, right? So sometimes it'll come in at value, sometimes it won't. I've had VA appraisals not come in at value before, and you wanna know what the agent said? Yeah, we had a feeling that this was going to happen. So what I don't want people to do is tell you that a VA loan, or the disadvantage of a VA loan, is the appraisal. Don't let people get away with that, because in my experience, and I've got a lot of it, right? Not a brag, it's just the truth, right? In my experience, VA appraisals, the overwhelming majority of them come in at value and on time, about 10 business days, could be a little bit less. We actually just had an appraisal come in yesterday where the value was significantly higher than the purchase price. We're like, yeah, right? Veteran is creating wealth through the acquisition of real estate, utilizing their VA loan. I say that in a lot of my videos, but I mean it when I say it. So let's talk a little bit about some additional disadvantages. You know, people will talk about the VA funding fee. Hello? So some of the other disadvantages that I hear is this thing about the VA funding fee. Now, I want to briefly take a moment to explain what the VA funding fee is, so that way the next time you hear it, you'll be able to say, okay, yeah, Jimmy taught me that, I'm good to go, I know exactly what that means and how it impacts me. But the VA funding fee is simply this, right? It is a cost imposed on the mortgage by the Department of Veterans Affairs to cover the risk associated with the loan. So think of it like an insurance premium that you're paying to the VA to be able to get a no money down loan up to any purchase price the veteran qualifies for, right? So what happens behind the scenes is in the event of default, VA will send a check to the mortgage lender for 25% of the loan balance. So think about it like this, right? If VA is responsible for insuring millions of dollars of, VA loans across the nation, hundreds of millions of dollars of VA loans across the nation, they've got to have some money in their bank account to pay out the claims in case we have another subprime mortgage meltdown, right? And so that's the point of a VA loan funding fee. So somebody might say, well, yeah, you've got to pay that VA funding fee, or even Dave Ramsey, my friend, who I love deeply, right? I think he's a great guy. He says some things about VA loans that I disagree with, right? Says the fees are more expensive, but I would ask, what's the alternative, right? What's the alternative from the standpoint of, well, would you rather pay private mortgage insurance on a monthly basis and have a higher interest rate and at the same time be required to come in with a down payment? It's like, no, I wouldn't. So the VA funding fee and oftentimes makes more sense, especially when you compare it to FHA, because on FHA you have monthly PMI, and in addition to that, you have an upfront mortgage insurance premium. So the way I explain it to my veterans is don't ever take advantage of a FHA loan over a VA loan, because I consider that to be malpractice. Good to go? So there's other things that people will say about the VA loans that, you can only have there's other things that people will say about VA home loans, things like, you can only use it once, so it's a one and done. Not true. It's not a disadvantage. You can use your VA loan as many times as you would like, so long as you have enough entitlement or remaining eligibility to do so. So your VA loan never expires. It never goes away. You can have more than one at a time. Good to go? So a lot of the disadvantages that people talk about VA loans, in my experience, are ill-informed, they're misinformed, and they don't have the accurate information to share with you, and it's all hearsay. It's a game of telephone about people's experiences, and they're not citing the VA loan guidelines correctly, which is exactly why I am here. My name is Jimmy Vercellino. If you found that this information was of value and you have questions, go ahead and comment down below. I'll make sure to get them answered for you. If you liked this information, go ahead and consider liking the video, showing your love, subscribing to the channel. It helps us to grow. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon.